Listen to me. Rich people think differently. So what I'm going to put in your head today is a rich people concept so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you you got to get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think. So here's the deal. The problem with becoming a millionaire is that when you decide that you want to be a millionaire, you immediately start thinking, how can I become a millionaire? Well, that thought don't just pop into your head, so you get frustrated and you don't become a millionaire. And you start creating stuff like, well, I guess this wasn't the Lord's will, or as soon as I think of how I'm going to make $1 million. You can't think of how to make $1 million. Stop. Do you know if you knew how to make $1 million, what's the day? Tuesday? Wouldn't you make it by Friday? Would not you make it by Friday? But suppose I told you how you can become a millionaire with what you have. Because here's the deal. All of you have everything it takes to become rich. You just don't believe it.
Poverty, consumer mindset. Wealth, a producer's mindset. When you desperate, you make desperate moves. Find an area of your life where you're not wealthy and put all your energy on it. Relationships. Get the wealthy relationships. Stop hanging out with people who ain't healthy unless y'all made a commitment to help them to get healthy. Does that make sense? Get your money right. Get your spiritual life right. There should be no area of your life you can't be wealthy. Why? Because he said be fruitful. Then he said multiply. Then he said have dominion. Then he said subdue.
Money makes a difference. Let me tell you what money does. Number one, it gives you control over your life. Number two, it gives you options. Three, it allows you to live a life of contribution, to contribute to things that you feel strongly about. So here's the first step to accumulating wealth. If you expect to do it, write this down. You must be willing to do the things today others won't do, in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. What are the things that others won't do? Number one, make discipline a major force in your life. How many of you know if you'd have been more disciplined, you'd be further along to reach your goals right now? Socrates said the undisciplined life is an insane life. The road to life is straight and narrow because few there be that are willing to discipline themselves. Here's something else that most people won't do. Make it okay to fail. A lot of people, 85% of people, allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. Repeat after me, please. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing right, as we have been taught, if you know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, it's worth doing badly until you get it right.
Now, if you can develop this theory that I'm about to share with you, I have the way for you to be rich. This is it. First of all of you have a gift. God gave it to you when he created you. God never created a single soul without giving them a gift. That's the God that created you. He's a very smart God. Here's the cold thing. When he made you, he put the gift inside of you. He didn't hide it under the ocean. It ain't on the mountain nowhere. It ain't under no rocks. You ain't got to go drill it. God put what you needed inside of you at birth. All of you have a gift. But you have got to do your gift. The thing God gave you at birth to do. It is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Anything else you doing, you wasting your time. Do you hear me? You wasting your time. If when the alarm clock goes off in the morning and it makes you sick every morning that alarm go off, it's because you ain't doing your gift. You're going against what God created you to be. Do most of you know what your gift is? Who in here doesn't know their gift yet? Okay, let me tell you what you do. Go home today. Don't talk to nobody. Sit down and have one conversation with yourself. What is the thing that I do the absolute best with the least amount of effort? This ain't gonna take you long. You old enough, you grown. Write it down. I don't care if it's networking. I don't care if it's babysitting. I don't care if it's doing color. I don't care if it's painting. Whatever it is, it's what you do. Sing it. Whatever you do the best, write it down. That's your gift. That's it. You ain't got to go asking a bunch of people. They've been telling you your whole life. You know, you ever have people call you with their problems? They always call you with your problems because you gifted at it. But you didn't know how to identify it. If you identify your gift. Now, let me ask you this question. This thing that you're gifted at, if you did it for somebody, do you think somebody would pay you $10 for your gift? Just $10. Could you babysit for $10? Could you cut somebody's hair for $10? Could you cut their grass for $10? Could you make them a chicken dinner for $10? Could you do something for $10? Everybody. Don't you have something somebody would give you $10 for? Okay, now, once you have something that somebody's willing to pay you $10 for, this is how this works. It's called the multiples of 10. See, you don't have to figure out how to be a millionaire. You just got to figure out the thing that makes you $10. So now here we go. You do it and you make $10. Soon as they pay you the 10, go do it 10 more times. Whatever it was. Watch some more kids 10 more times. Get another 10. You got $100. When you get $100, whatever you did to make that $100, listen to me, do it 10 more times. You ain't got to get tricky with it. Just do it 10 more times. You'd have made $1,000. Whatever you did to make the $1,000, don't get smart. Stay stupid now. Do it 10 more times. You have now made $10,000. Hold up. Now we finna grow a little bit, but guess what you got to do to grow? You just got to do some more. Whatever you made $10,000 doing, I need you to do it 10 more times. What you tripping for? If you do it 10 more times, you got $100,000. Now you might have to hire some people to make this happen. You got to figure that part out. But all you got to do is do what you did for $10. Once you make $100,000, if you just do it 10 more times.
You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. To me, my definition of success is doing what you love to do and find somebody to pay you to do it. So what do you love to do? And then explore ways in which you can earn a living doing that. Cooking, writing, painting, working with numbers, working with people. But the other thing that's important, faith to act on whatever your dream is. See, when you make a commitment, I'm going to become wealthy, when you make it important, when you decide I'm going to do it no matter what, life changes for you.
Some of y'all got a poverty mindset. You ain't got nothing running over because you keep taking. You feel good about somebody just cashing you out. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says it's better to than to you geek because somebody gave you. You should be geek when you give. I lived off 30% of my income. Why? So I could have cash when big opportunities came. I kept my credit up. All right, here's a poverty mindset. Poverty mindset is I owe somebody and I ain't gonna pay them till I die. The poverty mindset. When you took out that student loan, you signed your name. Don't your name mean something to you? You told them you was gonna pay them back. It'd be cool if you ain't telling them you was gonna pay them back. You told them you was gonna pay them back. A poverty mindset says I ain't gonna pay them back. When I got my first lump sum check, first thing I did was pay student loans. Sally Mae, I paid Sally Mae. Whose student loan did I pay for first? Paid for Dee Dee's first. So I had to show my wife like I ain't going nowhere. Boom, student loan paid for. Then a year or two later, I paid mine off. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Then took care of all our debts, took care of her mama's debts. When you get whole, you buy stuff that you need and that you. When you're not whole, you buy stuff so people can see you got money. When you rich, you don't want them to know you got it. I only bring my bank account. Let me tell you something. That's God and your creditors. That's it. I'm just being real. You need to impress God, and then if Chase want to give you $2 million to get a house, you got to prove to them. You know what I'm saying? So you do got to prove. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's two people. Your creditors you need to prove something to, and God. Other than that, you don't need to be proving nothing to nobody. You need to get out of your feelings. And the reason why they get some of y'all is because you're in your feelings. You want to prove something that already exists. Why do I have to prove to people what I have? And that's why people fool with me, because I'm organic. I'm not trying to prove what already is. Matter of fact, I don't tell you about the real good in my marriage. I tell you about all the mistakes I made. Why? Because it does not benefit you to know what I have that's good. What benefits you is the mistakes I made and how I overcame those mistakes. That's what benefits you. It don't benefit me to walk around and act like I'm killing it. Does that make sense? So you got to get out of your feelings, because that's poverty and you could be manipulated. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When you're in abundance. Tiffany, you told me January 1st that how much money did I already lose by leaving corporate? I already left $500,000 on the table, y'all. The year hadn't even started. But why don't I run up behind every corporate company that called me? I'm already in abundance. How many gigs did you get me? And that equals 7 figures? I'm already in abundance. I don't need 8 million. I don't need 10 million to live. It don't take more than $1 million to live a year. I'm in abundance. So I don't have to run up behind every opportunity. That's why I'm telling you to be wealthy. You run up behind some stuff you shouldn't be doing because you are in poverty. People who are broke make desperate decisions. I make a lot of money, but I live off of 30% of my income. I live in a 2,300 square foot home. The people next to me are like working class, like teachers, firefighters. Like I could easily move to Atlanta and put $1 million to the side and get a mansion. My rent is $1,900 a month. Well, I don't have a mortgage no more. But when I had one, it was $1,900 a month. I make 50 grand a speech. I drive an Escalade that my company bought for me. And we don't have 3 cars. I got the 1 car that I drive. I don't have the one I drive on the weekend. If you want to drive multiple cars, that's cool. I'm just telling you how to get rich.
How do you develop an above average income? And the answer is, become an above average person. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He said, Jim, I've only known you a short time. But he said, it's already my honest opinion that for things to change for you, you've got to change. That wasn't quite the answer I was looking for. But that's the answer he gave me, and I pass it along to you on this warm summer evening in Anaheim, California, 1981. For things to change for you, you've got to... change. Otherwise, it isn't going to change. The only way it gets better for you is when you get better. Life and business is like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. And see, that's how life gets better for you. Not by chance, but by change. See, I used to blame everything outside. And then let me give you a little philosophy that helped turn my life around. It's not what happens that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. It's not what happens. And the reason is because what happens to about everybody. No different. The sun went down on all of us last night. A common event, a happening. And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather it's what you do that changes everything. Two men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, "Wow, what a storm! With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales." He stays home. Same morning, the other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm, says, "Wow, what a storm!" But he says, "You know what, with weather like this, what a great day to go out and make sales." Most everybody will probably be home. Especially the salesman. It's not what happens, it's what you do. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are going to be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life.